Posso andare... Ah, ma che scelta? Ok, forse ci manca un guest, però vedremo, vedremo. Allora, intanto voglio precisare, intanto ringraziamo Andrea e Cristina per la presentazione e vi ringraziamo per essere qui. Ho delle note perché non mi ricordo niente, ovviamente. E, ci sarà visto che, come abbiamo visto anche dalla presentazione di Cristina e Andrea, il Lento Violento è diventato un movimento quasi internazionale, I will have to switch the language and speak in English. Really bad, but it's fine, I guess. So, this will be like, I made a Lento Violento documentary like 2 years ago during the first quarantine for this online festival called Avant-Gardening. It was meant to be like an interview of some of my friends who were listening to Lento Violento around the world. And this will be like a live version of it. And so some of the guests from the documentary are missing because they were busy and stuff, but there will be new guests. So so I want to be precise with the guests. I'm not an interviewer at all. I never do an interview, so I want it to be as casual as possible, and let's talk about Lento Violento in general, with also the people here in Brescia that are looking pretty interested in Lento Violento. So if you want to have some question afterwards, and if you have any question, just raise your hand and let us know. And yeah, also I'm not an interviewer, so feel free to correct what I say anytime, okay? So I want to start with a presentation randomly, looking at the Zoom window. I will go with Linea. And here, hi Linea, thank you for coming to this Lento Violento talk. And she's a DJ based in Berlin. She was in the documentary that I made 2 years ago. And I will ask her a few questions about how she feels about Lento Violento and how is viewed by someone who is based in Berlin. So maybe for someone of us who is here in Brescia, most of us think that Lento Violento is mostly an Italian movement, but yeah. After we have Marcus from Vienna, which he runs the label Ashida Park, that Andrea and Cristina talked before in the presentation. And thank you for coming.
Thank you for the invite.
And next one is Vipra, which is an upgrade of my past documentary, because I didn't have Vipra as a guest. But
Hello, everyone. Hi.
We are really glad to have you, because
Thank you for inviting us.
Because
I mean, it's like magic what you did, guys.
And first of all, I mean, like, we are really glad to have you, because talking to everyone in the world talking about Lento Violento, and they always speak about you as a huge inspiration of how they're realizing Lento Violento right now. So it's really a pleasure for us to have you, and we have a lot to talk. So thank you again for.
Thank you. Thank you.
And next one is Jason, which is based in Berlin as well, and he's a Lento Violento enthusiast, and he made with Linea a Lento Violento track that was released a few months ago, right? But also talking with him, like in real life, he will have to share a different view about how he feels about Lento Violento and stuff. Thank you for coming.
Sorry, I'm gonna interrupt you for a second. We're waiting also for Shelton, which
Yeah.
you may remember from the documentary, to connect, but he's having problems, so I think we can go on, and I will try to help him somehow.
Yeah,
maybe.
sure. We will wait for him. And So I gather a few questions just to I want to, as I said, I wanted to be as casual as possible. And yeah, I gather a few questions. And the first question is, how did you find out about Lento, Violento, Linea? What was your first encounter with that there?
Well, the first moment that I vividly remember, I think I also talked about this in the documentary, but I think it was, I don't know how many years ago now, but I think it was probably around 2014 or something that my brother lived in Berlin and he had some friends over and we were chilling at my place, and one of his friends played in Interrottamente with Gigi D'Agostino, and I had heard tracks by Gigi before, of course, like the ones that everyone knows, but I hadn't heard anything with this strong of a lento sound, I guess, before. And I was immediately really in love with it. And I was like, what is this? Who is this? And he was like, it's Gigi. And I was like, what? And then I think I immediately downloaded some albums, but it was still, I think I got on slightly the wrong track and I didn't really get more of that exact sound. I think I just got the wrong albums. And then it took me a few years again to realize that, I guess the spectrum of, well, it's not a very big spectrum, but that there is a little scene for this. And yeah, then a few years later, I think I got.
Were you already DJing while we were listening to Lento Violento for the first time, or did you get to appreciate it afterwards?
No, I had started DJing, but when I first started DJing, I was playing a more niche or a smaller spectrum of genres. I was just playing kind of 90s, early 2000s pop and R&B at drag parties. And then I started playing more and more different sounds around 2015, I think. Well, I was already kind of in around then I would probably have been in a little collective and we were doing footwork parties and stuff in Berlin. But yeah, I think it was actually more through, I think, seeing Inati and country music that I realized that there was a little scene around this. And that's when I started digging into it more.
Yeah, she's talking about country music, which is a label that Inati runs, and he's from Sweden. He's not today because life. But yeah, also Vipra released a track there, and we will talk with them later, I guess. And Marcus, how did you find out about Lento Violento for the first time?
I think it was, I didn't even know that it's called Lento Violento. I'm a huge Gigi D'Agostino fan since I was a kid, so I've always listened to his music. And I didn't know that the name of the genre is Lento Violento when I listened to some of his less popular songs, because the more popular songs are not really considered lento. But obviously he always had this vibe to it as well. And yeah, then only later on, and when we were DJing already, playing more darker club stuff, this post-club music as well, mixing a lot of different genres. And then we talked, and Lento Violento got some attention as well from everywhere. So I was I was digging as well some tracks, and I also found out about country music, and some other labels as well releasing Lento again. And I was and then also you released a track for us for Ashita Park as well. And so that's, I think, how I got back into it.
Yeah, because I also got into Lento Violento while I was playing those dark stuff at 100 BPM. But one person who was playing Lento Violento for a long time, or actually working with it, was Vipra. So I want to ask him, how did you find out, and your first approach with Lento Violento, because when we were actually thinking about the presentation and this talk, like you released like really early, like through like maximum 5 years after the Lento Violento debut of,
Yes.
of the genre. So I want to ask you, how did you find out about Lento Violento first? And what were you thinking when you were working with that?
Okay, I will say I'm really bad with like linear time, that because I really do not believe in years, and I really bad with years in general. But I will say I started working in a club when I was like 13 at Piper Club, and the maestro was already playing, of course. Then I started doing illegal rave, but it was more like dub, breakcore stuff. And then I was really into slow style when I discovered Lento Violento Altre Storie.
Okay, so like looking at
Maybe the track that really like literally made me think about in a conceptual way was Ininterrottamente, because it was like a conceptual way to use electronic music. Because to me, that operation was like John Cage, Italian John Cage version. It was dance music, but at the same time it was conceptual, because the word Ininterrottamente, it's actually sliced in several pieces. So he cut the word that means you can cut this word, kind of, no?
Yeah, it's interesting. It's also one thing that I noticed about Lento Violento in general is that also like Gigi's titles that Andrea and Christina mentioned before, they had actually like some proper rhythm in the words that they choose. And Ininterrottamente is one of that, because it says that kind of triplets inside the word. And, and I think for most of the people, there's a step when they kind of discover all, like starting from Gigi, and then they go like and see what the Gigi's fans are doing. What we mentioned before, like all the compilation of SlowStyle and Jamendo, and you actually like included in the Casaforte mix, right?
Yes.
Yeah. And
yeah, because I was really into like the fact that it was actually like a super minimalistic genre with three sound, and I used to play at rave like breakcore. I was really how can I say, like I was really into something that was just simple and calm and slow, but at the same time was like really like a metaphor of the time we are living, so which is actually our time and violent time. So I think, okay, I want to bring this to the next level and make it something which is not connected to the slow style community, but I want to put different also news inside the tracks, using as a just a way to communicate, kind of.
And we will get to it afterwards, like on your like approach to it. And I will go to Jason. Jason, what was your first encounter with Lento Violento?
Yeah, I mean, actually, it's hard to tell, because I mean, I was always a fan of hardstyle and I guess, just trance music. Yeah. And of course, I was familiar with Gigi growing up, and I'm pretty sure they played it at fairgrounds. And I kind of associate a lot of the, or like maybe the earlier music with like stuff they would play at like fun fairs and stuff. But I guess I wasn't aware of the term or the genre Lento. And I think it kind of came together for me when I saw maybe even some of your stuff, or Chai T did a Lento Violento mix on SoundCloud. So when there was a combination of, that like a new younger scene on SoundCloud that did a lot of hardstyle, but then also had the slower songs, and it just resonated with me. And then it kind of just all clicked together at some point when I discovered all of Gigi's back catalog, 50 Alter Egos. Then he also showed me a lot of his yeah, stuff, and also country music, Inati. There was kind of a moment where on the internet where everything just clicked together, and I realized that is such a deep genre.
Again, I think that the country music label like helped a lot to connect the the actual experimental club music to the Lento Violento stuff, because it was actually a platform that they don't release usually like Lento Violento, but other genre that are more connected to the international experimental or experimental club music or stuff. So yeah, for most of us, it's sad not to have Inati to talk about that, but maybe next time. And
Can I ask because you showed me Tagada with DJ Ronne. Did you did you hear that growing up at the fun fairs, or how did you know about that?
I think that's maybe even specifically Austrian thing, the Tagada ride. But I think I know that's the sound that they often play at fairgrounds, I think.
Don't worry. We have an expert here.
Exactly.
And he's from Vienna and has the Lento Tagada CDs. So
I'm pretty sure.
yeah, we were pretty struck when we found out about the Tagada related movement in Austria in general. But we have Shelton now that is connected right now. And so he's talking with us from Arviat in Nunavut in Canada right now. Thank you for coming. Really appreciate your presence here. Shelton, can you hear us?
Hi. Yeah.
Hi.
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 Hey. And
Good morning.
on the documentary, thank you for coming. And we just saw the documentary and he appeared on it. And I think after watching the documentary, a lot of us have a lot of questions to ask you about your area and about how Lento Violento today is related to your area. So I was asking to the other guests, how did you find out about Lento Violento? And I mean, for us, I mean, most of the guests and me as well, and all here are like Euro in Europe. So it's like, especially for us, it's like interesting to see how in a documentary like that, everybody's dancing to Lento Violento. So how you were introduced to that genre?
Well, for me, someone started playing his songs at our local community hall during a weekend, and like the beat of the song is similar to our traditional drum dancing. So because of that, we've been enjoying his songs at like our local teen dance here in my hometown. There were a few songs that were playing last night during a special occasion. These couples got married yesterday and they held a dance for their special occasion. So they were also playing his songs last night. And yeah, a lot of people were dancing.
And we just saw the documentary, and one thing that I wanted to ask you is like, can you introduce what's going on in your area in general, and does it something change from the documentary we saw? It was filmed in 2016, and if you want to talk about it, like did something change? There's still dance to Lento, Violento, but in general, the situation, how would you describe it? Like if you want to
Well,
say something about your era.
sorry. Okay. Yeah, I think so I'll introduce myself
Sure.
first. My name Atara Kugak Nungnek, Arver Mutau Yunga, Ihulene Hartara, Tohayuna, Mutukilarina, Mutu Arago Hibulak Pami, Arvani Hulek Tunga, Ma Ubehu Tunga Laukatayu, Walarma. So, first of all, thank you for this. My name is Shelton. I'm originally from Arbet Nunavut. I just completed my first year at the Interpreter Translator program at Nunavut Art College that's based in Iqaluit, Nunavut. I just recently got back home from that college program. And about your question, there are about 3,000 now in my hometown, and 95% of that population speaks nothing but Inuktitut, and 65% of that population is youth who are under the age of 25. So there are a lot of kids and youth in my hometown, and they also love Gigi's songs. So we've been enjoying it since more than a decade now, with the style of going hard with the heartbeat. The way we drum dance, we either drum dance lightly, slowly, or depending on what's happening. Yeah, I would show you guys a video, but I keep having internet connection problems. But yeah, with that documentary, I think a few things changed. We haven't had really, it's a hard topic, but suicide since a while ago. So that's a good sign. And we have more kids and youth compared to 2016. And a lot of people are still dancing to his songs, and the way like the beats per minute, depending on how fast or the song is slow, depending on how fast or slow it is, it's like our way of drum dancing with the drumstick and the drum when we're drum dancing. I would show you guys right now, but I'm wearing a half cast right now, so I can't able to showcase.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you anyway for your I don't know. I'm not that good at English, but thank you for your information. Really appreciate to have you here. Really, 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 really. I will go with some like more on the surface questions. And again, if anybody here has some question, just raise your hand, and we will have them told to the guests. Yeah. So now we are here in Brescia, but we have a lot like of guests connected from kind of all over the world, mostly Europe. But yeah. And I want to talk about how Lento Violento is viewed in your area. I will go with Linia. Did you ever like heard Lento Violento played in Berlin? Or is something that you only play?
Yeah, I guess when you played and I played. No, I haven't actually heard. It's not. I think a lot of people love Gigi for sure, but they don't really know about his other music, you know. And I think when people hear it, generally they are into it. I played one Lento set at the Widows party in October, I think it was. and that was really fun. But I haven't and I also once for Halloween dressed up as Gigi and played a full Lento set a few years ago, and
Yeah.
I think people were really confused.
And how's the reaction of the people? Do they enjoy it, or?
I think people enjoy it, but it's kind of hard to tell. Like, there's not really. I think it's more of an online thing still than like actually in action here. It would be really fun to throw a full-on Lento party to introduce people to it. Because when it's just one set, and if there's several dance floors or something, then people are like, I think people kind of need to properly get into it to get used to the slow tempo, because otherwise people might be chasing higher BPMs if it's like that time of the night or something.
I mean, I really got to the Lento Violento sound, and like Andrea and Christina as well, but at the same time I feel like 4 hours of Lento Violento is like, you have to choose the right tracks. Like,
yeah, it's kind of hard to source that much music.
Yeah.
It can, there's not enough producers yet. There's a lot of random, very small producers I've found in like teenagers in South America. I've noticed on SoundCloud with like 17 followers. But yeah, it should come together more as a scene, I think, because it would be really sick.
I mean, also because
you can always mix it up with hardstyle, of course. Like,
yeah. Also because of the formula that we talked about before with Andrea and Christina is so like, you have to be, I mean, it doesn't have to be, but mostly it's like half beat at 90 BPM. So it's like kind of the same. So it's hard. And Jason, you're not actually from Berlin, right? You're from, you can like, I can ask you if you ever heard Lento Violento in Berlin or like your hometown or around your hometown, ever?
I'm from south of Germany, Nuremberg area, and I haven't heard it there, to be honest, except for probably on a fairground. In Berlin, I guess I can just, it's the same, like as Linnea said, it's usually friends of ours who play it, or it's some very specific event. But I'm honestly, I'm not aware of any scene or party that plays it more exclusively. No, it's pretty rare, sadly. Yeah.
I guess country music did a night once a few years ago, or
someone might have played some Lento, probably.
Yeah.
But it's always like very small bits, small chunks of it.
But you obviously hear Gigi L'amour toujours like all the time.
I mean, you have to introduce Gigi first, and then they will be okay. If it's Gigi, I will listen to it forever.
Yeah, probably ease into the Lento part. Through some more, L'amour toujours.
Yeah.
We've had good reactions from the track we made, though, at least from our friends.
Yeah, because like also like if you listen to Lento Violento when you're looking for a slow BPM set, they're actually hard tracks. So like they're gonna put it on your mix, but like a 100% Lento Violento mix is like really hard to make, I guess. We have also Marcus. Marcus, I think there's this, I know for sure. I will ask you, I mean, like, I will pretend I don't know, maybe. But there's this Tagada scene. I think everybody here knows what a Tagada is, right? Yeah. And do you want to talk about this Tagada scene in Austria? I
think what's specific about it, Tagada everywhere, I think these fun fairs are known also for using electronic music. I think everywhere EDM style stuff, but I think in Austria specifically, the Tagada they commissioned Lento Violento music. Like they paid them to produce CDs full of Lento Violento tracks, even with these narrators, up gates and stuff like this. It's like, it's really funny.
Yeah.
And yeah, you actually sent me the link to this CD on YouTube, or just with the snippets. I think if the people watch the documentary, I talked about this as well. And then yeah, I contacted the guy. I found him on SoundCloud, Killer Bee, and yeah, he still has those CDs, so you can still buy them off him through his SoundCloud if you're interested.
Yeah, you can contact them on SoundCloud, and it's like 10 euros for 2 CDs or 15. Yeah. Yeah, it's. I mean, like that was really cool. I don't know why I always like linked Austria to GG in some way. I don't know why. Maybe because it's like bigger there as well, right? Like
He's one of the biggest
worldwide.
pop stars in Austria.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And yeah, so I want to ask you, like Vibra, because one thing that that we all like don't know, because we all see on the internet what was going on at the time, but we weren't actually there. So like one thing I want to ask to Vibra is that looking also to the tracks you wanted to play, like in another key, in another like environment, but still looking for some slow style tracks. Do you know what was going on the internet during the like the golden days of Lento Violento? Like, I mean, because most of the tracks of the compilation were out on 2010, 2012, 2013. And also, like, we look at a lot of Lento Violento producer like Mr. Libra and Luca Bads, I don't know, DJ Fole. But now most of them completely changed their style, they like quit. So do you felt that it was like actually an online thing looking at it, or was like, or we were looking at it as a outsider, as we are doing kind of right now?
Yes, I think so. So it's never been like something that every producer changed their name because it was actually not cool as a genre. Right now it's starting to become a new thing. That's why I'm saying like post or avant or whatever. Just it's a good idea, but bad execution, 90%. So we are doing nice idea with good execution. That's the point. So because literally 95% of SlowStyle Lento Violento tracks that you download, you can play, basically. Yeah. So you have to edit them in different pieces and remix it every time, because otherwise it's not working. It's really monothematic, no?
Yeah. As we were talking, the formula is like limiting the genre itself.
Yes.
In it being like super kind of monothematic, like something.
I think it's SlowStyle or Lento Violento, how we call it. It has to be more like with different influence from different genre. It's not something that, if you see what happens with like, for example, bubbling. So it's like post-colonial genre that it's like kind of dembo, but made in Holland with hardstyle sound, no? So yes. So I'm looking forward to something like this, but for SlowStyle. That's my work is about. Yeah. And also I really like the way how to with SlowStyle you literally transform energy, bad energy in good energy. Slowly but constantly. It's like a tool to keep it.
Yeah, one thing that struck us is, I mean, personally, is that as we were talking a bit, I sent you some questions and stuff. Most, like lately, there's a lot of like taking a genre and putting in a different context. Mm-hmm. But the thing that like really excites me is that usually those genres are really well known, like trance or grime. Or like, and I mean, like one thing that really excites me about your work is that nobody knew about SlowStyle in that way.
Yeah. But that's the point. It's kind of we do not do a track. We literally invent a new scenario. So in a new ocean, everyone can just go. No, it's a brand new scenario. No, it's a parallel universe. So everyone can join this new world. That's the point. So otherwise, it's just literally Lento Violento producer with no cultural music about dance culture, club culture, rave culture, or whatever. That's why they sound like really basic, no?
Yeah.
They are just people with FL Studio doing random 4-on-4 beats.
Yeah, and Shelton, I just as a producer, because I produce myself as well, I just want to ask you: did anyone there thought ever about like revisiting the Gigi D'Agostino tracks with a more like traditional and in a more traditional way, like fusing the two genres together? Like, is it a good idea, first of all?
Well, I'm not sure about that because we don't really mix modern music with traditional music. We like to keep it that way to respect our practices, but it's just tempo and like the beat is similar to our way of drum dancing. So yeah.
Yeah. So because when I first saw the documentary, I was really like looking into why you were choosing that dance, and also like when you talk with Andrea Cristina, they told me too that it was connected to that, and
So yeah, we just wanted to ask you if you want to talk about, so what's the role of music for you and your community? So like independently from Lento Violento, which we're talking about because we saw the documentary, so we know that you like it, but what's the role of dancing and music for you and your community, if you want to share that?
Okay, I see. With the role of dancing, traditional dancing, it's a part of who we are within our culture and tradition, the language and the heritage. So with that, listening to Lento Violento, it's like we're connected to his song spiritually. Could I send you a link of that YouTube video so that you guys would understand the tempo that I'm talking about?
Yeah, I think we can try to play it.
I think if you can send it and we will manage to play it in some way. Right?
Yeah, just send it over, thanks.
I'll quickly look for it.
What? Sorry, what did you say? Okay, sorry.
With the other guests that are here, do you guys have any other questions about
While you look for
the documentary?
Oh, okay. So you're asking if someone has questions for you from the documentary?
That's correct.
Okay, so if any of you has something to ask to Shelton about the documentary, anything at all, we're gonna pass the microphone if you want to do that. So maybe while you look for the link, we can just let you search in peace, so we can move to someone else. Just
we will
briefly.
let you search for for the video, and yeah, you talk about like spiritual connection with the tracks that you found out in the Lento Violento tracks. We actually linked the video. I actually linked the video to Gigi, the documentary, but it didn't.
I mean,
yeah.
you sent your documentary to
No,
Gigi.
yeah, but also maybe no, I don't know. Maybe, but he has to see it, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And we also, of course, if you talk about Lento Violento, you had to talk about Gigi. We already talked about Gigi D'Agostino, but I just want to have a full reply about what do you think about Gigi D'Agostino in general? Just a few words, just to celebrate him in some way. Vipra?
I really think he's a sort of maestro, but in a level which is also like contemporary avant art, basically. So, because the way he uses also like poetry is really interesting, which is like a minimalistic way to use electronic music, but at the same time there is also a way, also like a futuristic way to use poetry and words.
Yeah, like really as we said, like it has like a good musical connection, like choosing the right words, but also like not only like for rhythm, but
yeah. So it's like, as we said earlier, like we made like a parallel between Black Sabbath and Gigi D'Agostino. Maybe it's doesn't fit at all, but like maybe we can make another parallel between Gigi and Ennio Morricone, right? Because he was writing a lot of pop songs, basically, but still he was making concrete music, and
Yes, definitely. I think it's interesting connection.
So because Gigi actually remixed La classe operaia va in paradiso from Ennio Morricone. So the amazing thing for us is that he's making fucking avant-garde music, but anyone can just dance to it like the moment they hear it, right? Which is a miracle to us, right?
Yeah, just like this, I have been to a Gigi D'Agostino concert 2019. I remember the day, 12th October 2019, in my hometown. And I've never been to a concert where I've seen so many different people in one place, like from different, social standard, and also age groups. I've never seen so many different people, lawyers, doctors, but also workers, like students, school pupils, like everyone at this concert and enjoying it, crying, laughing, everything. So yeah, I've never seen anyone connecting so many different people than him. That's crazy.
Yeah. And
yeah, we feel the same way.
Yeah. I mean, also one thing that you were talking about was I don't know how underground, because here is like there's no like line that divides the Tamarro side and the underground side. I don't know. As an outsider, I when I was listening to the M2O mixes of Gigi D'Agostino, it felt to me really underground in some way, and also like there was some pop elements on it, and I was like, yeah, you're celebrating pop culture with underground stuff, but actually it was maybe one of my trip because it wasn't that underground at the moment, maybe. Yeah. And Jason, do you want to spend a few words on Gigi, and then I will go to Linia, and if Shelton, you have found the video, just let us know whenever you want. No problem with that. Jason, do you want to spend, since you're like celebrating kind of Gigi D'Agostino through Lento Violento, if you want to spend?
Always. No, I guess, obviously we all love his music, and it's true, everyone loves Gigi. Every time anyone plays L'amour toujours or whatever, like, as Marcus said, like, it's cross-generational, just everyone who hears it loves it. And also, yeah, I've never really listened to an interview with Gigi. Like, I think the only interviews are in Italian, and they're very short on YouTube and kind of old. Like he's very mysterious. Like
Yeah, I was gonna say this too. He's such an enigma. Like
for
he
being
draws
such a
you
big
in.
artist.
So like he looks so crazy and interesting, and he like draws you in, and then you want to find out everything, and you get nothing. Like you start looking into like, I mean, maybe in Italian it's easier, but like I can't find anything. But then at the same time, he has his phone number on his website, you know.
True, but yeah, we have some in Italian interview, but it's not that. It's always like super minimalistic in the answers. He said that he's like kind of shy, and but also the way that he communicates makes us think a lot about his works, because if this person and his works were like super clear to us, maybe there would be no room for us to give an interpretation to it, you know. So we saw it as such like super epic, sometimes funny, sometimes hard, but we don't really know the person behind it, and it would be super awesome to have a talk with him, and of course, you know, and to receive a key to look into his works with his view. But maybe this is the good thing about
maybe that's why it's so awesome, right? Because it's mysterious. I don't know.
And he has so many different monikers as well, and not really.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like hard to even keep track of all the music he's made, and he just keeps pumping it out constantly. Like.
So for the people here, I don't know if you know that Gigi D'Agostino, as we told you earlier, he supposedly have the trademark on the Lento Violento keywords, right? So he just started making music again with only the Lento Violento moniker, like 2 years ago, and they are even better than the first one. So, like, just crazy how much music he can make and how good it is, right?
Yeah. I think the Fasto Lento album he released is really one of my favorites. Like, I think every single song is really good on that album that he released as Lento Violento. And it's funny that he was like Lento Violento man, and then he's just Lento Violento.
He wants us to know that he is the man.
Yeah.
And
so we had the video from Shelton, so we can try and show it here. So let's see. So this is not going to be streamed because we are going to open another like browser, but maybe I can put microphone on the speakers.
Yeah, for the guests, it's in the comment section.
Yeah, so. Exactly. If you want to see. Okay, so we can share the screen.
Maybe go to like the end of the video so that you guys understand the tempo that I was talking about.
So maybe we can see
there.
The last minute and a half. Is it fine for you?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, sure. Let's start from here. Okay, so Shelton, do you want to comment about this video? So what's happening? What have we just seen?
That traditional drum dancing, like I said, the tempo is similar to Lento, and like we're dancing, we're connected to his song spiritually. So maybe that's was a better way of understanding why we enjoy Lento song a lot. So yeah, that's what I wanted to show you guys. But since I don't have a stable internet connection, that's the video that I was talking about. And with drum dancing, people would back then people would go inside this qagir, which is a big snow house, and a lot of people will go in a circle, and from the oldest person to the youngest person, everyone would be drum dancing, starting from the elder to the youngest participant inside the qagir, and women would be singing traditional songs composed by the person who's gonna be drum dancing. So that's why like the tempo, the beat is similar to Lento song, depending on the beats per minute. So that's why like we're connected to, like I said, his song spiritually, and it really helps us become who we are and just be ourselves when we're dancing. It just reminds us of traditional drum dancing.
Okay, so you have usually, like on average, you are exposed to that traditional music and dancing since you are kids, or is something like that comes later, or
well, yeah, we are exposed to that as kids. For me, I was taught how to drum dance when I was in grade 3, and ever since then, I've been drum dancing. But when I was younger, I didn't drum dance. Like it wasn't an everyday thing. It was most on special occasions. But now I want to help revitalize our practices. So that's why like I also a culture performer and a throat singer. Yeah, like with your question, we are exposed to drum dancing while growing up.
Yeah, thanks. Let's hope we can all meet someday. And so I think so. It's been an hour already.
Yeah. I would say if any of the guests have any questions for other guests,
people here, if you have questions,
and
or
if also the people here has any question, like any kind, or is it like okay? You can raise.
I have a question.
Awesome, Linnea.
I'm curious about like, well, because we said Gigi is so mysterious. This is a general question. Well, it's about Gigi. Has anyone ever, like, any of you been in contact with him? Do you know anyone that actually knows him? Would it even be possible to book him for any sort of party that's not like one of his touring concerts? Like because there's such a huge demand of people that would like to see him in Berlin, for example, that would like to see him play. But like I'm starting to realize I'll probably have to travel to Italy to see him play somewhere.
Yeah, does anybody here had like a connection with someone that knows someone that knows Gigi D'Agostino in some kind of way? No, but you also. But everybody has that friend that say, "Hey, yeah, he used to live in the same town." Because, I mean, also like he has like nobody. I mean,
so actually, Gigi, I mean, his number is public for everyone on his website.
Yeah.
And also, he's.
I've texted him. I didn't get a response.
Actually, you can only text him because it's like on the like written in brackets, it's like you can only send me SMS messages, right? So you cannot even call him.
Yeah, SMS only.
I think he's sick at the moment, right? Like, so he's
Yeah,
not
I saw that.
touring.
Well, does anyone know? It seems kind of serious.
Yeah, I mean, like, I think it's like the illness is pretty serious, but yeah, I think we are doing this conversation when he was like still kind of active in the shows, and he still wasn't like. I think also like, as you said, everybody wants to book him. I think he also had some problems with an Austria bookers. Maybe Marcus show me right. I don't know. How do I know? How do I know it? And yeah, so nobody knows. But actually, like personally, like there's like 5 people everybody says he lives in Brescia, Torino, Lugano, and nobody knows where he lives, and it keeps in its way. And I ask it again, and then I will thank everybody and leave to the DJ set that will come afterwards. Last chance. Do you have any question? Let's go. Okay. Thank you. I will say in the order of Zoom to Marcus. Thank you for coming. Thank you, Vibra. Thank you. Thank you, Shelton. Thank you very much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, Jason. Thank you. And thank you for listening to the talk.
Yeah,
That's
so
it.
we're gonna start the DJ sets in 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And it's gonna be streamed. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Let's go. Thank you very much. Grazie mille. Grazie
Thank
mille.
you.
Grazie a tutti. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Asciughiamo subito.